you know that millions of people earn money trading online every day?
Hello? Hello? Am I audible? Hello? Just let me know in the comments if you can see and hear me properly and that my video and audio is in sync. Okay. Just a second. And let me know if there are no background noises and my audio is absolutely clear. Okay, so I suppose that everything is fine. So let us start. Okay, as I was saying in the chat that I'll be doing a quick Q&A session at the end of the video. So whatever queries you have, whatever questions you have, you just keep them ready. I'll be answering all your questions. So the first important point for today, the topic that I wanted to talk about was this topic, that few mistakes that you need to avoid for AIPGD 2022. And this exam probably you can expect to be around September, around mid-September. That is what I think. But whenever the final date will be there, we will get notified along with the admit card. Just in my app. Okay. So what are the mistakes that you need to avoid for AIPGT 2022? And this is one of the very important thing that you need to keep in mind if you are preparing for this exam. Just a second. Yeah. So the first point, and you can write this point, you can write these points if you want. As we go along, as I talk along, you can write these things. So I have already made, if you are preparing for 2022 and if you are appearing in this exam, then a few weeks back, I already made a video, Gold and Halwa topics, where I had discussed what are the important topics that you need to study for this AIPGD 2022. And those are just my recommendations. I wouldn't say that those are the only topics that you study and go into the exam. I wouldn't say that, but those are just my recommendations. Okay, those are the topics. At least study those topics, because those topics, I think that in 2022 a lot of questions might get asked from those topics. Like every year, earlier also, and earlier to previous year also, I had made this kind of a video where I had suggested few topics which I called as Gold and Halwa topics for the final exam. So this year also I have made a video on that. You can find the link of that video in the description of this video. And in case you don't find, I'll post the video after this live stream ends. So anyways, let us start. So the first thing that you need to keep in mind, the first mistake actually that you need to avoid is you need to understand the difference between learning and clearing the exam. You need to avoid is you need to understand the difference between learning and clearing the exams. We have been studying for the past 5 years, so we know a good amount of things from these topics, from these subjects, but we need to understand that we are preparing for a particular target. The target is AIPGT 2022. So we need to understand when we are learning, and we need to understand when we are studying to just clear the exam. Right now your only target is to clear the exam. You don't have to do PhD in any one subject. You don't have to become a scholar of any one subject. You don't have to be like you are the most knowledgeable person in that subject, because that is not going to help you in exam. What is going to help you in exam is the only knowledge, is the only thing that you are able to solve the MCQs that is in front of your screen. That is the only thing that is required from you on the day of the exam. Nobody cares if you know materia medica A to Z, or if you have been a gold medalist in materia medica, or if you have been the topper of your batch. Nobody cares about that. The only thing that examiners care, or this exam will care, is that out of these questions in materia medica, whether you are able to answer or you are not able to answer. So forget what you have been in your past or how much knowledge you had. Just focus that you are able to answer those questions. So when you are preparing right now, when you are learning, when you are studying the subjects, when you are going through these topics, make sure that you are only studying that much which is required to clear the exam. Only that much which is required for your MCQ, so that you're able to answer your MCQs. You don't study anything extra. This is what I suggest कि एग्जाम में ना ज्यादा पढ़ने से ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट होता है सही चीज पढ़ना. And you need to understand this कि बहुत ज्यादा पढ़ने से you won't be able to clear this exam. You have to study the right thing, and this right thing will help you mark those MCQs. Okay, so the first point is that know when to stop learning versus clearing the exam. Don't study more than required. Only study that much which will help you answer the MCQs. Okay, so that was point number one. The second point that I want to talk today, the second mistake actually that I want to talk, is not revising enough. Now, what happens that while you are preparing now, see, the subject is too vast. Okay, the syllabus is too vast, and each subjects are too vast. So what happens ke once you have completed all your subjects, once you have read all those topics, what happens is students get overconfident. They feel that, okay, I have studied all these subjects, so probably I will be able to answer all the MCQs, and I don't need to revise that topic because I know I have solved MCQs in the past. I have solved MCQs in the coaching. I have solved MCQs in the test. So probably I don't require to go through that topic again. Now, this is the biggest mistake that one will do. Because when you ask the toppers, any topper you know, or you have talked with, the only thing they suggest is that, and the common thing they suggest is do your revisions, because revisions are so important. No, it doesn't matter if you have completed your entire topic. If you don't revise, you won't be able to remember that topic on the day of the exam. And MCQs, when you see the MCQs on the day of the exam, when you see MCQs in front of you, you will feel you know the topic. You have seen these questions somewhere. You have seen similar kind of questions somewhere. You already have seen questions from this topic, and you are confused between the answers. You don't know which is the correct answer, and you only think, if I had only revised this topic once, I would have been able to answer this right now. This is the feeling that you will get, and this is the worst kind of feeling. So revisions karke jana. And how many times you need to revise? At least 4 times. This is what I suggest. 4 times is zyada bhi revise kar sakte ho, but 4 times is the minimum revision, minimum number of times that you need to revise to remember properly all the topics that you have studied. And now, when you have about 1 month or even less than 1 month before the exam, I would suggest revise more and study less. Okay, solve more and more MCQs so that these MCQs cover more topic, and finally you remember those topics and you are able to answer questions in your exam. So revise 4 times. This is my second point, and this is the second mistake that no one should do, at least no one who is gonna appear in this AIPGD 2022 next month, which is probably next month. Okay, so read less, revise more. This is the thing that you need to do. The third thing that most of the students, most of you might be doing now is that most of you are anxious, most of you are worried, most of you are nervous right now, and that is quite like that is something that happens to everyone. That happens to the toppers, that happens to everyone. And in that, what most of the students do is you start compromising on sleep. Okay, that कि चलो 1 महीने बाकी है, so I'll sleep less, I'll sleep just for 4 hours and I'll study more. See, this is not the way how you should study. This is not a routine, this is not a healthy routine that you should be following right now, because if you are compromising on sleep, then you are compromising on your efficiency. See, at least I suggest that 6 to 7 hours of sleep is mandatory for everyone. Of course, there are people who are God gifted, they don't require so much of sleep. 4 to 5 hours of sleep is enough for them. But if you're, and most of us are not that kind of person. So if you're not one of those kind of person, then at least get 6 to 7 hours of sleep and एक ना routine बना लो कि इतना बजे मुझे सोना है, इतने बजे मुझे उठ के पढ़ाई करना है. Like what I did when I was studying for this exam, कि I had set a routine. And I usually like to study late night because that time my brain is very active. So I am able to cover. I was able to cover a lot of topics, a lot of MCQs, and I was able to retain those topics if I studied late night, because there were less disturbances around. And this is just my way, what I'm saying, what I did. It doesn't matter that you also need to study at night. If you are a morning person, you can get up early and study. But my routine was that I used to study till 3 a.m. and I used to sleep, and then I used to wake up at exact 10 a.m. and started my studies after that. So that was my routine, that I know that 3 baje tak I'll study and 10 baje I'll wake up. So I was getting pretty around 7 hours of sleep I was getting. And I am a person that I require a lot of sleep. I at least sleep for 7 to 8 hours. So during the exam also, do not compromise with your sleep. Sleep properly, because when you sleep properly, your brain needs rest. ठीक है, अभी एग्जाम के लिए you are studying so much, so sleep properly, make a proper routine for your sleep. Okay, the fourth point, so that was third point. The first point was learning when to stop, means staying on the track, not over reading, not over studying any topic, learning versus clearing the exam. So that was point number 1. The point number 2 was not revising enough. The point number 3 was compromising on your sleep. And the fourth mistake is not studying smartly. And this is one of the most important thing that I want to share with you, that I want to talk about is, see, you have 12 major subjects, right? There are 8 allied subjects and 4 homeopathy subjects. From allied subjects, you have around 55% of the questions, and from homeopathy subjects, you will get around 45% of the questions, right? But in allied subjects, not all subjects is going to fetch you equal marks. Okay. Similarly, in also homeopathy subjects, not all subjects are going to fetch you equal marks. Although you can expect equal number of questions from all of those allied subjects. But here comes when you have to be smart. How you have to be smart? See, for exam, you need a proper score. Okay. So it doesn't matter कि वो score, whether वो score you are getting or you are solving surgery MCQs, or it doesn't matter कि वो score आप medicine के MCQs solve करके ला रहे हो, right? एक correct answer होने से you are getting 4 marks, right? एक negative होने से you are getting -1. तो ये जो +4 हो रहा है ना, no one is gonna ask कि ये +4 you have scored by solving a pharmacy MCQ, or this +4 you have gotten by solving a surgery MCQ. No one is going to ask. All the examiner or the exam will only see how much you have scored. ठीक है, this is a basic thing. So understand this thing कि +4 लाने से मतलब है it doesn't matter कि which MCQ from which subject you have to solve. ठीक है. Second thing, all these subjects, all these 12 subjects, 8 and 4, all these subjects are not equally scoring. Some subjects, few subjects are more scoring, that is gonna fetch you a lot of marks, and few subjects are less scoring, that you will find that you will have to study, that you will have to give a lot of time to get scoring, to solve MCQs from those subjects. ठीक है, 2 घंटा, if I say कि 2 hours of study of pharmacy is not equal to 2 hours study of same medicine. ठीक है, because if I study pharmacy for 2 hours, I might be able to solve around 80% of the questions, or even 90% of the questions from pharmacy. I might be able to solve around 80% of the questions, or even 90% of the questions from pharmacy. But if I study 2 hours medicine, probably I won't be able to solve even 10% of the questions from medicine. So when you are studying, especially now when you have only 1 month before the exam, especially now, so now when you are investing time, see, you have got 30 days. मान लो अभी से कि you only have 30 days, एग्जाम का डेट नहीं आया है, but write down in the calendar that you have only 4 weeks. Is 4 weeks, in these 4 weeks you need to revise, you need to study, you need to solve MCQs, you need to study, you might need to study new topics, you might to appear in new tests, there are a lot of things that you have to do in these 4 weeks. So what you are doing, कहाँ पे अपना टाइम इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हो, this has to be very smart. You have to be very smart in this कि अपना टाइम each every घंटा, every day का every घंटा कहाँ इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हो, that is very important. So I would suggest कि डोंट डू दिस मिस्टेक कि मैंने सपोज मैंने स्टार्ट किया अलाइड सब्जेक्ट, अलाइड का मैंने एनाटॉमी पढ़ा, फिर फिजियोलॉजी पढ़ा, फिर पैथो पढ़ा, फिर मेडिसिन पढ़ा, देन मेडिसिन पढ़ा, देन गाइनियोप्स उठाया, फिर गाइनियोप्स पढ़ा, फिर से कम्युनिटी मेडिसिन पढ़ा, फिर एफएमटी. नहीं, ये कोई इस तरह से कोई ये जरूरी नहीं है कि इस तरह से कोई पैटर्न फॉलो करो. What you are going to do, the only pattern that you should be following, and the only pattern that is important right now is the most scoring to least scoring. ठीक है, सबसे पहले कौन सा सब्जेक्ट पढ़ना है, जो मोस्ट स्कोरिंग सब्जेक्ट है. अब अभी you will ask or you might think कि कौन सा सब्जेक्ट मोस्ट स्कोरिंग है. See, you already know, you have been preparing for this exam about 8 months, 10 months now, so you already have an idea कि इतना टेस्ट दे चुके हो, कहीं पे भी कोचिंग में या खुद से सेल्फ असेसमेंट करके, यू हैव अपीयर्ड इन सो मेनी टेस्ट दैट बाय दिस टाइम, बाय नाउ, you must already have an idea कि which is the subject that you are able to score more from. Okay, so categorize subjects from most scoring to least scoring. Okay, and do this for both allied and for homeopathy subjects as well. Okay, now the highest scoring, the most scoring subject that you have, and this might differ from student to student. I have already said that in the class also, and I will already say that to I think in my previous videos also कि ये कौन सा सब्जेक्ट स्कोरिंग है, कौन सा सब्जेक्ट लेस स्कोरिंग है. This might depend from every student to every other student, because say in my BHMS I have studied say anatomy, बहुत अच्छे से मैंने पढ़ा है, तो I might be able to solve more MCQs from anatomy more than you. So for me, anatomy is very scoring, whereas you might not have studied anatomy, or might have studied anatomy but have forgotten anatomy, because we have studied anatomy in the first year. So अभी तक हम लोग बहुत कोई स्टूडेंट्स है जो भूल चुके होंगे बहुत सारे टॉपिक्स anatomy के. So solving MCQs from anatomy might be difficult for you. So anatomy is not very scoring for you. But for me, since anatomy is a scoring, so I'll put anatomy at the top, because I know that if I revise anatomy just a bit, I might end up solving about 90% of the MCQs from anatomy. So make a list. ये list एकदम आज ही बनाना कि highest scoring subjects in allied, highest scoring subjects in homeopathy. Okay, and make a list कि ये first is this, second is this, third is this, and start studying this wise. जो सबसे ज्यादा scoring है उसको सबसे ज्यादा पढ़ना, because at the end the only thing that is required from you is the marks, how much marks you are able to score by solving MCQs. Okay, so this is the mistake that most of the students do, कि they study randomly whatever topic, whatever subject they want, but this is the time to study smartly. start from scoring subject. कौन सा scoring subject ज़्यादा है, list बनाओ and start studying that way. So that was fourth point. The fifth and this is my favorite point. The fifth mistake is that not being aware of the competition. Now ऐसा होता है ना कि सपोज कर लो एक रेस चल रही है, ओके, एक रेस चल रही है एंड हम उस रेस में एंड हम अपनी रेस, मेरी अपनी रेस चल रही है और एक जनरल रेस चल रही है. नाउ वेयर डू आई लाई इन दैट रेस? इफ आई डोंट पार्टिसिपेट आई वुड नेवर नो. Okay, so you need to understand and you need to find out what is your level of preparation in the test. For example, in coaching test you are able to solve 90% of the questions. 90% questions अगर solve कर दे रहे हो, you might think that okay fine, I am able to score a lot of questions and I am able to score a good marks. I am able to solve a lot of questions from a lot of topics in the exam, so probably I'll do well. I know a lot of things, but you don't know how other students are solving in that coaching center, or how other students are able to solve that MCQ. You don't know. So make sure you are well aware of the competition. Now the thing is, how will you know this competition mein where you are lying? I would suggest join some test series. There are a lot of test series that you will find online. ठीक है ना, बहुत सारे होम्योपैथी कोचिंग के हैं. एंड इफ यू आर लाइक फ्रॉम अदर बैकग्राउंड, आई थिंक आयुर्वेदा के भी कुछ स्टूडेंट्स हैं who might be watching this video. So if you are from any other field apart from homeopathy, just a second. Yeah, apart from homeopathy, I'm sure there might be some coaching center that might be running some test series from where you can join those test series and you can find out what is your not only score, you need to know your rank. उस particular test series में what is your rank among thousands of students who are also attempting that paper. So यहाँ पे the important thing is to know your rank. अभी there are a lot of coaching centers who provide you with your rank, and they also let you know how many students have attempted those tests and what is your rank among those students. Now of course this is not the final verdict, this is not the final calculation, but at least ऐसे तो अगर 1000 स्टूडेंट्स किसी टेस्ट में बैठ रहे हैं, देन यू कैन एक्सपेक्ट कि अराउंड 30, 40, 50 स्टूडेंट्स तो ऐसे बैठ रहे होंगे विद सीरियस प्रिपरेशन, हु माइट बी सीरियस फॉर दैट टेस्ट. ऐसे तो जरूर होंगे, 1000 में से एटलीस्ट 30, 40 स्टूडेंट्स तो ऐसे होंगे. सो योर टारगेट इज नॉट कि 1000 में मेरा रैंक 80 आ गया या 1000 में मेरा रैंक 100 आ गया एंड आई एम हैप्पी विद दैट. नो, योर टारगेट शुड बी कि उस 1000 स्टूडेंट्स में जो भी बैठ रहे हैं, योर टारगेट शुड बी टू रिमेन विद इन 10. If you are within 10, then only you can just a second. Yeah. So if your rank is within 10, then only you can expect कि you have done a good preparation, you have scored a very good marks. ठीक है. So the fifth point was be aware of your competition around you. फ्रेंड्स वगैरह जिससे फ्रेंड्स वगैरह से ना, so now this is the time कि अकेले आइसोलेशन में मत पढ़ाई करना. Even if you are studying in isolation, always try to find out what your friends are doing. And वो सारे friends नहीं जो you know कि इतना अच्छे से पढ़ाई नहीं करते हैं या उन लोग बहुत अच्छा स्कोर नहीं करते हैं. Rather those friends who you absolutely know कि इनकी प्रिपरेशन तो बहुत अच्छी है, कि इस बंदे की प्रिपरेशन तो बहुत अच्छी है. And you have a regular conversation with these kind of people. ठीक है ना. सी बोलते हैं ना, इफ यू सराउंड योरसेल्फ विद टॉपर्स यू विल आल्सो टॉप. सो सराउंड योरसेल्फ विद दोस काइंड ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स हु यू थिंक और हु यू नो के आर द टॉपर्स, आर द बेस्ट काइंड ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स इन देयर स्टडीज, आर द बेस्ट काइंड ऑफ, आर द स्टूडेंट्स हु स्कोर गुड इन द टेस्ट्स. सो सराउंड योरसेल्फ विद दोस and always try to assess how much you know, how much they are studying, how much you are able to score, and how much they are able to score. So always be aware of your surroundings, always be aware of your competitions. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so that was the fifth point, is the fifth mistake that students do is they avoid their competition. They are unaware of the competition. The sixth point, the sixth mistake is ignoring PYQ. Ignoring PYQ. PYQ is previous year's questions. Now, what happens? A lot of students, I know what they do is they keep the previous year's papers for the end. Okay, I have studied all the topics in the coaching. सारे topics पढ़ लिए, सारे lectures देख लिए, notes देख लिए, everything. And 5-6 days or 4-5 days before exam, what they do, they open the book and go through the previous year's questions. The mistake that they do is this needs to be done now. ये लास्ट प्रीवियस ईयर्स के क्वेश्चंस जो है ये देखना लास्ट मोमेंट का काम नहीं है, ये देखना अभी का है. You need to go through these papers right now. Why? Because the first reason is that, see, in your exam there will be a lot of questions from your past years. You will see from previous 4-5 years, at least 5 साल का तो questions देखना. So in your exam you will see that from the past 4-5 years there will be the questions देखना. So in your exam you will see that from the past 4-5 years there will be exact question and options. कुछ questions ऐसे जरूर रहेंगे which are repetitive. So this is the number one reason, and you don't want to miss this kind of questions. ठीक है. So make, if you are, अगर 5 साल पढ़ने से अगर मेरा 4-5 MCQ solve होता है, ठीक है, then I am always a gainer. Why will I not go through those previous year's papers? So if you have doubt, the first reason that you need to go through these papers is because there will be repetitive questions in your exam. हर साल हुआ है. You can open any year AIPGT and look back. There has been few questions which are directly from previous years. So that is the number one reason. Second important reason why you should be going through the PYQ right now is because you need to understand. ठीक है, blindly ऐसे पढ़ने से नहीं होगा कि ये टॉपिक मैंने पढ़ा and I am solving MCQs like 100 of MCQs from there. No, blindly पढ़ने से नहीं होगा. You need to understand the trend कि इस particular टॉपिक से कितने क्वेश्चंस आ रहे हैं. Last previous 5 years में has there been any question from this topic? ठीक है. So you need to understand these kind of मीन्स स्ट्रेटेजी लगाना पड़ता है एग्जाम में. ठीक है, स्टडी स्मार्टली. जस्ट नाउ वी डिस्कस्ड के यू नीड टू बी स्टडिंग स्मार्टली. सो व्हाट इज द स्मार्ट थिंग दैट यू आर डूइंग? द स्मार्ट थिंग दैट यू आर डूइंग इज दैट यू आर ऑलवेज स्ट्रेटेजाइजिंग के लास्ट प्रीवियस ईयर्स में किस तरह से क्वेश्चंस आए हैं इस पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक से, एंड what is the level of the question in this topic, whether easy questions आते हैं या difficult questions आते हैं. ECG से questions, जैसे मान लो कि for example if I say about ECG, तो ECG से जो questions आ रहे हैं वो last previous 5 years में कितने बार आए हैं. This is the first thing that you find out. The second thing that you find out कि किस level of ECG, माने किस standard of question कैसा है ECG का, whether it is easy या बहुत in depth questions आ रहे हैं ECG से. ठीक है. सो यू विल नो द पैटर्न कि प्रीवियसली ईसीजी से बहुत सुपरफिशियल क्वेश्चंस आते थे. ठीक है, कि पीवेव का क्या मतलब हो गया, एसटी का क्या मतलब हो गया, दिस काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चंस. लेकिन ओवर द पास्ट 2 years यू आर नोटिसिंग द ट्रेंड कि नहीं, ईसीजी से नाउ डेप्थ के क्वेश्चंस आते हैं. सो व्हाट यू विल बी डूइंग, यू विल बी गोइंग इन डेप्थ इन ईसीजी. इफ दिस इज द ट्रेंड, दिस इज जस्ट अ जनरल एग्जांपल दैट आई एम सेइंग. This is the trend. This is just a general example that I'm saying. This is just an example that I'm saying. ठीक है. So you need to understand कि previous year's question paper से कौन-कौन से topic से question आए हैं और what was the standard of the question from those topics. ठीक है. So do not ignore your previous year's papers और लास्ट में मत पढ़ना, ये अभी से पढ़ना. एंड हर प्रीवियस ईयर्स का पेपर का जितने MCQs हैं, नो मैटर हाउ मेनी MCQs, आई थिंक 120 MCQs होंगे. प्रीवियस AIPG में तो 120 MCQs आ रहे हैं. सो प्रीवियस 4-5 years से जितने भी MCQs हैं in your AIPGT exam, and by previous year's paper I not only mean AIPGT, go through the state PSC papers as well, UPSC papers as well. Because why I'm saying, see, स्मार्टली बोलते हैं ना, स्मार्टली पढ़ना. प्रीवियसली AIPGT का अपना ट्रेंड था, राइट. जैसे उसमें असर्शन रीजनिंग क्वेश्चन बहुत ज्यादा नहीं आते थे AIPGT में, एंड मैच द फॉलोइंग काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चंस बहुत ज्यादा एआईपीजीटी में नहीं आते थे, बट रिसेंटली फ्यू ईयर्स से देयर आर लॉट ऑफ assertion रीजनिंग टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चंस दैट आर कमिंग इन एआईपीजीटी. देयर आर मोर एंड मोर मैच द फॉलोइंग काइंड्स ऑफ क्वेश्चंस, स्टेटमेंट काइंड्स ऑफ क्वेश्चंस दैट आर कमिंग इन एआईपीजीटी. सो अर्लियर, way back 5 years back, I never said a student to go through UPSC papers, the previous papers of UPSC. And if you are going through the previous years of UPSC papers, you can avoid the assertion reasoning kind of questions, because that was not the trend of AIPGT. But recently, in the recent years, the trend has changed. So now I tell all the students कि UPSC papers तो एकदम खास तौर से देखना ही previous years का, and go through all the assertion, especially go through the assertion type of questions, reason type of questions, statement kind of questions, true false kind of questions, and match the following kind of questions. Means these kind of questions जो UPSC में पिछले पाँच साल से आए हैं, go through these kind of questions in your जो previous years के papers है. ठीक है, तो previous years में AIPGD के papers, go through those papers. Then UPSC papers, go through them. And also your state PSC papers. कुछ state PSC के papers ना you just go through, like West Bengal PSC के paper जो है वो at least go through them. Odisha PSC papers, go through them. UP PSC papers, go through them. And few major states जहाँ पे ज़्यादा there are frequent exams, there are frequent PSC exams, go through those papers. ठीक है, so go through PYQ. This is the mistake that you should never do. ठीक है, PYQ को एकदम देखना ही है. The seventh, and this is the last, it's already 30 minutes. Okay, so the seventh and the last mistake that students do and that you shouldn't do right now, especially 1 month before the exam, is not resolving doubts. Now what happens when you have studied, while you have been preparing for all these months, there you might have had a lot of doubts. ठीक है, कुछ डाउट्स क्लियर हो जाते हैं, कुछ डाउट्स क्लियर नहीं होते हैं, एंड नहीं होने का कुछ भी रीजन हो सकता है. उस टाइम में हमें लगा था कि कहीं पे लिख लिए थे कि डाउट्स क्लियर करेंगे, लेकिन टीचर अवेलेबल नहीं हुए तो डाउट्स कुडंट बी क्लैरिफाइड, और हम लिखे थे लेकिन हम भूल गए टीचर से क्लैरिफाई करना, so that doubt remained unclarified. So there might be a lot of reasons why while your doubts were not clarified. So if you have a separate list of all the doubts that went unclarified, you should clarify each and every doubt, because if say you have 100 doubts और अगर उसमें से एक भी क्वेश्चन आ गया, and doubt I am not saying कि सिर्फ doubt जो है वो टॉपिक्स में ही होते हैं कि you are not able to understand this topic, so that is a doubt. नहीं, बहुत सारे doubts ऐसे होते हैं ना कि there are few MCQs, few controversial MCQs जिसका आंसर एक बुक में कुछ और दिया हुआ है, क्लासेस में कुछ और पढ़ा रहे हैं, टेस्ट सीरीज कहीं पे ज्वाइन किए हुए हो तो उसका आंसर कुछ अलग है, एंड दैट क्रिएट्स अ डाउट. यू डोंट नो कि विच इज द करेक्ट आंसर. एंड अगर ये क्वेश्चन एग्जाम में आ गया, देन chances are कि you will leave this question, because in the exam also you will think कि ये जो 3 options में doubt था, all these 3 options are in the MCQ. All these 3 options are there, and I don't know which is the correct answer. And why? Because I never clarified that doubt from the teacher or from the textbook or from anywhere. I did not clarify that doubt. So don't make this kind of mistake. If you have doubt, clarify them. And this is the time. See, you will be studying now, or you will be revising, I should say, not studying, because एक महीने में तो revision ही हो सकता है. You cannot start your study right now. So when you are revising now, you will have a lot of doubts. Still, अभी भी बहुत सारे ऐसे topics होंगे, बहुत सारे MCQs होंगे that you will find controversial, that for the answers you might find okay, fine, the answer is this, but I don't that I'm not satisfied with the answer. I want an explanation for this answer. Get these kind of doubts clarified. एग्जाम में, टेस्ट पेपर में, टेक्स्ट बुक में, स्टडी मटेरियल में, लेक्चर्स में ऐसे बहुत सारे डाउट्स होते हैं. यू आर, आई वुडंट से कि कोई इतना अच्छा स्टूडेंट है कि कोई डाउट ही नहीं है. अगर किसी स्टूडेंट को डाउट नहीं है तो वो पढ़ा नहीं है, उसका मतलब ही ये होता है कि वो पढ़ा नहीं है. Because if you have studied, you are bound to have doubts. So get all your doubts clarified. So these were the 7 mistakes that I wanted to talk about in today's session. And again, I'm repeating. A few weeks back, I made a video on gold and halwa topics where I had suggested few very important topics that you should be studying for AIPGD 2022. So make sure you watch that video and you study all those topics. Don't leave any of those topics. वो topics मैंने बैठ के अपने मन से ऐसे नहीं लिख दिए हैं, ठीक है ना? There were few researches that I had to do, and few I had to go through all the previous year's papers to understand the trend of the question, of the topic, of the subject, of the standard, and a lot of things that went behind. I had to invest about a week of mine to make that video. So those topics that I have suggested, make sure you're to make that video. So those topics that I have suggested, make sure you're going through that. And also there's one very important thing. Now, ये तो अभी preparation का, like we had talked about what is the type of preparation that you should do and what are the mistakes that you should avoid. So these were the things that we had talked about. But one very important thing that I want to talk about is what you need to do inside the exam hall. When you have entered the examination hall, see, studying smartly is one thing, and attempting MCQs smartly is another thing. Okay, so you need to be smart while you are preparing. You also need to be very smart while you are attempting MCQs. Okay. So there is one video that I made previously, few years back, on this particular topic. Okay, what you need to do inside the exam hall. This I'll put the link of this video in the description of this video. If you don't find it now, after the stream ends, I'll leave this. I'll put the link. Go definitely check that out. And one question I want to ask: since the exam, say if the exam will be around mid-September, so we have around 30 days or at least a month before the exam. So I was thinking that I'll do another live session, probably 1 week or about 1 week or 10 days before the exam. So let me know what we should be discussing on that day. Just one live session like this, 7 days or 10 days before the exam. So what we need to be discussing on that, let me know in the comments. Acha, and comments में मतलब ये live chat में अभी तो लिख दो, but after this stream ends, please write down again on the comment of the video, because ये live chat का जो है ना वो एक बार में doesn't show. All the comments are not visible at a time, so I'm not able to read all the comments. So after the stream ends, do let me know the topic of the live session that we'll be doing 1 week before the exam, 7 days. Okay, now the Q&A. Let me check few of the questions. Expected date of AIPGT वही around mid-September तक मान के चलो. Like you be prepared by mid-September. Exam अब कभी भी हो, you should be. Okay, Koyal is asking कि MD के अलावा BHMS के बाद क्या क्या पढ़ सकते हैं. Okay, this is a topic that I have already discussed. If you go through my channel, the video section, you will see career options after BHMS, and doing PG or MD is one of the career options. There are a lot of other career options that I have talked in that video. So Koyal, do check that video out. The name of the video is Career Options After BHMS. Okay, next is Shirin Sahana is saying recorded video will be available after live. Yes, it will be available on YouTube. You are right. Gulshan is saying Gul Hassan is saying you are right. I am NEET UG aspirant. Okay, and what about your NEET UG rank? NEET UG rank, I think my rank was 17. Yes, 17 rank tha mera. How to join Pulse Coaching website? Sonam Sahu is asking. So you go to that website, pulsecoachinginstitute.com, or just send a mail writing about your query to pulsecoachinginstitute@gmail.com. You'll get a reply from them. Then Dr. Shikha Homeo is saying assertion reasoning questions are the most dangerous things for me. Please tell how I prepare for these kind of questions. See, what I'll say, assertion reasoning questions are not very tricky. The first thing that you need to be doing is solving more and more of assertion reasoning questions. If you are weak at some see what we do, if we are weak at some subject or if we are weak at any topic, what we solve more and more, we study that topic more and more, right? So if you are weak in assertion reasoning, I would suggest कि solve more and more assertion reasoning kind of questions. Previous years में test series में बहुत सारे test series है where you get a lot of assertion reasoning kind of questions. So assertion reasoning ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा solve करो. And of course assertion reasoning बहुत ज़्यादा straightforward questions नहीं होते हैं, but still give a thought about it. When you are solving MCQs, think properly कि if this is the correct reason for that, if the assertion is correct or not, and if the reason for the assertion is correct or not. ये थोड़ा सा concept based questions होता है. Assertion reasoning I would say कि थोड़ा सा concept based होता है. So if you have gone through the text properly, if you have a good concept, then this assertion reasoning solve करना will be very easy to you. Okay, so try and solve more and more assertion reasoning questions. Then Dr. Subhash Chandra Bose is saying per 100 questions, one question repeated. Might be, हो सकता है. Next is Priyadarshini Chatterjee saying, from where do we get the full collection of PSC papers? Okay, see, the thing is ke if you buy any recent textbook, then they add the recent papers, but full collection of all PSC papers, see, it is very difficult to get the full collection of PSC papers. The reason being because few state PSC they give the answer, few state PSC they do not give the answer. So that becomes very difficult for the even to publish anywhere. Okay, like you have all the questions along with the correct answers. So that is one thing which is difficult. But what you can do and what I can suggest is in the Pulse app in your Android store or Apple store, just download Pulse Coaching Institute app. In that app, there is a section by the name of previous year's papers. Okay, wait, I'll just show you. So this is the app. Okay, I don't know if it is properly visible, but if you go down, this is the previous year's papers. Okay, so when you go to this section, you will find all the AIPGT papers, the PSC papers, the CCRH papers, the UPSC papers. These are all the papers that you will find there. Of course, we try these papers, but most of the papers you will find here in these papers, but most of the papers you will find here in PSC also. And we'll try to update these papers. Next is okay, this one is very nice. Vaishnavi P is saying, should we solve MCQs of Materia Medica at present or read it regularly on daily basis? See, I would suggest कि अभी 1 month before the exam solve as many MCQs as you can. ठीक है, अभी MCQs solve करो. Even Materia Medica में, if you are giving 1 hour to studying Materia Medica every day, at least उसमें half an hour सिर्फ MCQ solve करो. Because see, what happens कि when you are solving MCQs on Materia Medica, so Materia Medica MCQ solve कर रहे हो, you are automatically opening up Allen's and Boric and going through that drug. Okay, just making sure कि yeah, that symptom is in that drug or not. See, if I'm solving MCQs on Materia Medica, if I'm able to solve correctly, so I know कि yeah, ठीक है, चलो ये symptom जो है ये medicine में है. But if I have a confusion or if I'm not able to solve that MCQ कि ये particular symptom इस medicine में है कि नहीं है, so how do I verify? I just don't rely on this MCQ book कि आंसर दे दिया कि हाँ ये agaricus में है, so I believe. No, when you are not able to solve MCQ on Materia Medica, you open Allen's and you mark that MCQ कि this is the line in agaricus which I was not able to solve. And what you will do is you mark that line with a marker, कोई भी एक color से mark कर दो. So when you are opening that book again later in for revising, all those marks जितना भी किए हो ना वो दिख रहा है. So you know कि ये सब चीज you were not able to solve earlier. ठीक है. सो इस तरह से मटीरियलिटी का सॉल्व करो एंड गो थ्रू माय वीडियो दैट आई हैड ऑलरेडी मेड like 2 years back, few years back I think. How to study Materiamatica. That is the name of the video. Just go through that video. I was discussed like all the possible ways that you should be studying Materiamatica for your Aiapget exam, for competitive exams. Next question is Hasina Khatun is saying, sir, what is the cutoff marks range this year? See, cutoff marks बहुत चीजों पे depend करता है. It depends on a lot of things. It depends on the standard of paper, how students have solved, how many students have scored. It depends a lot of on a lot of factors. Like no one can say कि कितना कट ऑफ जाएगा, कितना कट ऑफ नहीं जाएगा. ये सब पेपर्स पे डिपेंड करता है. अगर पेपर बहुत टफ आया तो कट ऑफ नीचे होगा, कट ऑफ विल बी लो. If the paper is very easy, then a lot of students will score very high, so the cut off will automatically go up. So cut off कितना आएगा, like that is something which is very difficult to say, at least now. Ranjana Gupta is saying, sir, please make videos on important assertion reasoning MCQs. See, that is not possible. There are a lot of MCQs on assertion reasoning that are important. So what I would suggest कि टेस्ट सीरीज वगैरह में जितने सारे assertion reasoning के मिल रहे हैं क्वेश्चंस और टेस्ट पेपर्स में जितने सारे मिल रहे हैं, go through those assertion reasoning. Okay, next is Azhar Ali saying what we must do, previous year's MCQs or text revision, as both together cannot handle together in respect of time. Previous year's MCQs or text revision. Previous year's MCQs, those are more important because understand the psychology of an examiner. ठीक है, तो एग्जामिनर्स भी जब क्वेश्चन बनाने बैठते हैं ना, तो दे ऑल्सो गो थ्रू कि प्रीवियस ईयर्स में क्या क्या क्वेश्चंस बना था. क्योंकि if suppose someone is the examiner, that person is not making MCQ since 5 years, right? Examiners keep on changing. So when someone is given a task or a duty to make, say, few questions from medicine or few questions from Materia Medica, then the examiner is also a human being. The examiner will also go and check what has been the trend, how many what were the questions in the 4-5 years. So examiner is also going and checking the previous year's papers. So what you should also be checking the previous year's papers. So go through and examiners are not checking previous year text, they are checking MCQs. So you also go through the previous year's MCQs. Then Dr. Shika Homeo is saying how to remember medicine symptoms that asks in exam. How to remember medicine symptoms? Medicines as in what? Materia Medica or practice of medicine? I did not practice of medicine या Materia Medica. कौन से symptoms? Sir, I have joined Pulse. Yeah. Archana Rao is saying accept type MCQs mostly wrong to myself. अच्छा, मैंने जहाँ पे accept आ जाता है कि this is present accept. So when you inside the exam hall, when you are studying MCQs ना, when you are marking an answer, just make sure कि you have studied the question wrong. A lot of silly mistakes happen कि students ने थोड़ा सा line पढ़ा, हाँ ये I know this answer, and they go and mark this option कि okay this is it. But what they fail to notice या even they notice उतना like ध्यान से नहीं देखते हैं कि there is the question has asked except कि all these are the factors except. So when you are marking a answer in your exam, when you are actually giving the exam, make sure you study the MCQ twice. कि if there are not करके तो कुछ नहीं है, except करके तो कुछ नहीं है, all except करके तो कुछ नहीं है. मतलब these kind of mistakes जो है ना, ये सब pardonable नहीं है, unpardonable mistakes है, unacceptable. कि एग्जाम से बाहर निकल के सोचे अच्छा ऑल एक्सेप्ट था ये तो पता ही नहीं था मुझे. These kind of unpardonable mistakes है. कोई स्कूल के तो बच्चे नहीं हो, 11-12 का तो एग्जाम दे नहीं रहे हो जो you can ये सब मिस्टेक्स करोगे, already you are all of you are already doctors. Will anyone expect these kind of silly mistakes from you? Hasina Khatun is saying, what is the cutoff marks range this year? Same. Then अच्छा ऊपर चला गया ये. Okay, next. Hasina Khatun is asking, sir, for FMT, is Magad Hira best book? See, I haven't gone through that book, first of all. Second of all, FMT, whatever have been taught in your college, whatever textbook you have followed in your BHMS, keep to that book. You don't have to switch any new book. Don't have to study any new book. Just solve MCQs on FMT, and FMT is a very small subject. Like if you're solving around 700 800 MCQs, you are covering your FMT. So 700-800 MCQs तो यार एक दिन में like you may be able to solve. So that is not a very difficult thing. So कौन से बुक से पढ़ रहे हो, कोई से भी जो भी बुक फॉलो कर रहे हो पहले से, keep to that book and just solve MCQs. ठीक है. Next is Azhar Ali. How many questions must be attempted for a general category candidate? See, how many questions? This is a very nice topic actually. This is not only a question. This is actually a topic that we can discuss. So in just 2 minutes, I'm discussing this. Okay, how many questions should be attempted? See, when you have your MCQ in front of you, when you have your paper actually in front of you, you start solving. ठीक है, ऐसा नहीं कुछ सीनियर्स होंगे या कुछ टीचर्स होंगे ऐसा सजेस्ट करेंगे तुम्हें कि यू गो थ्रू द पेपर, अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज द स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ द पेपर, एंड अकॉर्डिंग टू द स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ द पेपर यू मेक अ कैलकुलेशन कि हाउ मेनी एमसीक्यूज यू शुड सॉल्व. इतना टाइम नहीं रहता करने का. ठीक है. सो व्हेन जैसे स्टार्ट करोगे एमसीक्यूज आएगा, यू जस्ट इमीडिएटली गो ऑन सॉल्विंग. 10 20 15 एमसीक्यूज तक पहुंचोगे ना, 15-20 एमसीक्यूज तक पहुंचोगे, 15-20 एमसीक्यूज में खुद पता चल जाएगा व्हाट इज द स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ पेपर, इसमें कितना स्कोरिंग होगा, एंड व्हाट इज योर लेवल ऑफ प्रिपरेशन, तुम कितना इसमें अटेम्प्ट कर पाओगे. सो ये सब चीज ऑलरेडी 20 एमसीक्यूज पहुंचते पहुंचते पता चल जाएगा तुम्हें. ठीक है. अब फॉरगेट अबाउट कि जनरल कैंडिडेट हो या एससी हो या ओबीसी हो, योर ओनली टारगेट क्या होना चाहिए कि एकदम टॉप का रैंक आना चाहिए. ठीक है. So when you are solving MCQs, by the time you are at MCQ number 20, you should have few ideas. What ideas? First of all, कि what is the standard of paper? ये समझना बहुत important है, because by this you will know कि whether you need to take risk or you do not have to take any risk. Because अगर standard of paper 20 तक solve किए, पता चला कि स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ पेपर तो बहुत ज्यादा नहीं है, सो यू नो कि आउट ऑफ 120 100 के एमसीक्यू तो ऊपर मानना ही पड़ेगा, नहीं तो फिर लॉट ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स आर ऑलरेडी, सिंस द पेपर इज सो इजी, lot of students will already attempt a lot of questions, and most of the students will get most of the questions correct because the paper is easy. And if you are not attempting more, suppose you are confident in 60 questions or 70 questions, कि 60-70 questions में तो हो गया है, but you know कि standard of paper तो बहुत easy है, तो you are already out of the competition because you have correctly assessed कि ये पेपर तो बहुत easy है. अब 60-70 क्वेश्चंस अटेम्प्ट करके तो ऑफ कोर्स नहीं आएगा रैंक, सो वहां पे तो डू एंड डाई सिचुएशन है, सो ऑफ कोर्स तुम्हें उसको तो ज्यादा करना ही पड़ेगा, वरना यू आर ऑलरेडी आउट ऑफ द कंपटीशन. सो अंडरस्टैंडिंग एंड असेसिंग द स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ पेपर इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग दैट यू विल डू ऑन द एग्जाम हॉल. Inside the exam hall, that is what I am saying कि inside exam hall में क्या करना है. I have already talked about this point very nicely on that video. Go and check that video out. अगर description में नहीं मिलता है link, then after its live stream I'll put that link, but go to videos and search inside exam hall of AIPGT या inside exam hall. Go through the videos, you will get that video. Wait, sorry. how to remember medicine symptoms in materia medica. What I was saying कि टॉपिक वाइज पढ़ो, हेडेक का सारे मेडिसिन पढ़ो, मेंटल सिम्टम्स का सारे मेडिसिन पढ़ो, जॉइंट पेन्स का सारे मेडिसिन पढ़ो कि व्हाट आर द टाइप ऑफ पेन्स. सो इस तरह से इफ यू कैटेगराइज देन चांसेस आर लेस के यू विल फॉरगेट. And that is one of the ways of studying materia medica. Process of solving MCQ most effectively. Okay. I think Dr. Uttam Mishra is saying, I think you are saying about the topic that we will be discussing on the live stream, right? So you just mention this topic after this live stream ends, because यहाँ पे ये जो है ना ये chat पूरा comment दिखता नहीं है. ओके, सोहम साहू इज सेइंग कि सर जिसकी प्रिपरेशन नहीं है उन्होंने बस एक्सपीरियंस के लिए फॉर्म भरा है, प्लीज सजेस्ट. ओके फाइन, सी यू विल देयर आर स्टूडेंट्स हु हैव डन दिस एंड दिस इज समथिंग दैट आई रिकमेंड के स्टूडेंट्स को करना चाहिए सो दैट यू जस्ट हैव अ फील. ठीक है, मैंने भी किया था in my time. I also, when I was not eligible, when I was doing my internship, I sat in the exam. I just went and gave the exam with zero preparation, and of course marks भी zero ही आए. But I observed a lot of things. ठीक है, I observed a lot of things in that exam hall कि of course since मेरा preparation कुछ नहीं था तो कुछ MCQs भी मुझे नहीं आते थे. But I observed few things कि time management कैसे करके कर रहे हैं students inside the exam hall. ठीक है, and after the exam hall also I talked with them कि कितना MCQs कितने बजे तक कर लिए थे, and these are the kind of things that like should matter to you. मतलब जो सीरियसली एग्जाम में नहीं बैठ रहे हैं, जस्ट आइडिया लेने के लिए बैठ रहे हैं. सो दीज आर द टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चन दैट यू शुड बी आस्किंग when you come out of the exam hall के how many मतलब आधे घंटे तक how many MCQs were you able to solve and what was the standard of paper. ये सब समझ लेना कि standard of paper कैसे था. like 10-15 लोग से if you ask then probably not 10 to 15 people are gonna incorrectly evaluate. okay, 10-15 people तो सही बोलेंगे. तो स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ पेपर कैसा था, एंड व्हेन एग्जाम का रिजल्ट जब आएगा देन यू फाइंड आउट कि कितना स्कोर का मतलब किसी स्टूडेंट का क्या स्कोर था जिसका एडमिशन हो रहा है और उस स्टूडेंट का कहाँ पे एडमिशन हो रहा है. जस्ट ये थोड़ा सा आइडिया लेके रखना. ठीक है, सो दैट यू नो कि कितना स्टूडेंट का लास्ट ईयर कौन से स्टूडेंट का स्कोर आया था, उसका एडमिशन कहाँ पे हुआ. सो ये सब ना एक स्पेक्युलेटिव है. ठीक है, सिंस यू आर नॉट प्रिपेयरिंग राइट नाउ यू हैव टाइम्स फॉर दीज काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स. सो ये सब थोड़ा सा असेसमेंट, एनालिटिक्स, थोड़ा स्ट्रेटेजी, ये सब थोड़ा बहुत करके रखना. ठीक है. Sushmita Susi is saying, I don't know if I pronounced your name properly, but how many negative marks doesn't cost more damage to our result? Like some people say, will say 10% negative marks in the exam is okay. See, how many negative marks will cause damage or will not cause damage depends कि how many risk you are taking. What is the standard of paper? अगर standard of paper बहुत tough है then उसमें अगर एक भी नेगेटिव मार्क होता है that will cause a lot of damage, right? Because स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ पेपर बहुत टफ है तो यू हैव ऑलरेडी अटेम्प्टेड लेस. अब उसमें भी जो करेक्ट अटेम्प्ट किए हो जितना स्कोर आया है वो भी कम हो जा रहा है बिकॉज ऑफ अ नेगेटिव मार्क, देन दैट इज अ प्रॉब्लमेटिक थिंग, राइट? लेकिन अगर स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ पेपर बहुत इजी है सो देयर आर चांसेस कि बहुत सारे जिसमें तुक्के मारे हो कुछ क्वेश्चंस राइट हो जाएंगे. ठीक है, तो उसमें अगर एक आध नेगेटिव मार्क्स हो जाएगा देन दैट वोंट कॉज अ लॉट ऑफ डैमेज. सो वैसे तो अगर इफ यू आस्क के कितने क्वेश्चन डैमेज हो तो एक भी नेगेटिव मार्क तो डैमेज ही है. ओके, बट हाउ मच दैट विल अफेक्ट यू विल डिपेंड कि एग्जाम कैसा था, क्वेश्चन का स्टैंडर्ड कैसा था, हाउ मच यू हैव अटेम्प्टेड, ये सब मैटर करेगा. ये आई हैव डिस्कस दिस इन दैट इनसाइड एग्जाम हॉल वीडियो. सुनील कुमार इज आस्किंग सर प्रीवियस ईयर्स के 7-8 एमसीक्यूज एटलीस्ट कितने परसेंटेज कितना आने के चांस रहेगा एग्जाम 22? थोड़ा जंबल क्वेश्चन है बट आई अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट यू वांट टू से. सी प्रीवियस ईयर से अराउंड 2-3 क्वेश्चंस तो रहते ही हैं, ईयर टू ईयर वेरी भी करते हैं. Hasina Khatun is saying, sir, whenever I solve MCQs from Success or other book, there are a lot of mistakes in answer sheet. So that's a big problem for us, right? That is a big problem of that book because बहुत सारे mistakes हैं. But जो भी mistakes है ना, you just clarify those mistakes from your teacher, from your seniors, from your coaching, जो भी है. तो गलत book से तो थोड़ा सा damage होगा, but उसको try to identify those mistakes. Chetna is saying, please kindly tell what is your judgment of standard of previous 2 years AIPGT. See, previous 2 years AIGT पेपर जो है वो यूपीएससी स्टैंडर्ड के हैं, ठीक है. यूपीएससी स्टैंडर्ड के पेपर आ रहे हैं एंड बहुत इजी भी आई वुडंट से एंड आई नीदर वुड आई से कि दोज पेपर्स आर वेरी डिफिकल्ट बिकॉज इफ यू हैव स्टडीड प्रॉपर्ली यू विल गेट अ वेरी गुड रैंक इन दीज काइंड ऑफ पेपर्स, ठीक है. क्योंकि सी स्टैंडर्ड पेपर्स होना इज ऑलवेज गुड बिकॉज मतलब उल्टा पुल्टा कुछ नहीं होता है उसमें कि कोई स्टूडेंट ज्यादा नहीं पढ़ा है, कुछ ऐसा पेपर आ गया कि एकदम तुक्का मार के वो निकल गया, ठीक है. स्टैंडर्ड पेपर आना इज ऑलवेज गुड फॉर स्टूडेंट्स हु हैव स्टडीड प्रॉपर्ली, हु हैव प्रिपेयर्ड प्रॉपर्ली फॉर दैट एग्जाम. सो एक्सपेक्ट के स्टैंडर्ड ही पेपर आए, जैसा लास्ट 2 years में आ रहे हैं एक्सपेक्ट की वैसे ही पेपर आए. तो लाइक यू हैव बीन प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर दीज काइंड ऑफ पेपर्स, ठीक है. How to remember years in repertory organon? Nothing. वो चार्ट बना के, फ्लो चार्ट बना के, लिस्ट बना के वैसे ही याद रखना है, उसका और कोई ऑल्टरनेटिव नहीं है. Shubham Mishra is asking, how much money do you earn after your MD? How much money do you earn after your MD? And I don't know if you are asking about me, how much money I earn, or how much in general anyone earns after MD. So if you are asking in general, I would say, तो that depends ना कि what you are doing after an MD. MD करने के बाद कोई जॉब कर रहा है, कोई लेक्चरर कर रहा है, कोई एसआरशिप कर रहा है, like depends कि क्या जॉब कर रहा है, कोई क्लिनिक कर रहा है या what you are doing, that depends on that. So that is a very difficult question, I think. Avani Pandey is saying, sir, from your coaching class, like from your study material and your test series, approximately how many percentage questions we can get in PG entrance exam? See, what I have seen in the last 2 years, in the previous 2 years, what Pulse Coaching we have calculated how many questions are common from our test series, from our question papers. So out of 120 questions, at least 50 to 60 questions are common. You will get at least 50-60 questions, so you will directly get in our test series, and another 20-30, or in total, if you say last year, I think we calculated last year there were around 77 to 80 questions that were common, and last year also around 65 to 70 questions that were common. So about more than 50% questions तो directly मिल जाएंगे तुम्हें test series से. Raji R for the safe. Okay, I'll be just live for say another 5 minutes. Okay, so whatever questions you have, you ask now. It's difficult to remember years in ये तो हो गया. How to remember years ये हो गया. For the safe score, how much questions should be attended, sir? For safety के लिए 80%, 75% में तो like admission हो ही जाता है. So if you want to take zero risk, zero chance, 80% अगर स्कोर कर रहे हो तो फिर हो जाएगा. मीन्स दिस इज द ट्रेंड, नॉट ऐसा नहीं है कि हो ही जाएगा. अगर पेपर बहुत इजी आ गया, सारे स्टूडेंट्स ही 80% स्कोर कर गए, तब नहीं होगा. Okay, Nidhi Amar Bajpayee is asking, sir, next homeopathic medical officer UPPSC की पोस्ट कब निकलेगी और कैसे प्रिपरेशन करे? प्रिपरेशन तो कैसे करे का आंसर यही है कि जैसे AIPGT के लिए कर रहे हैं पेपर प्रिपरेशन वैसे ही करना है, ठीक है। टेस्ट सीरीज ज्वाइन करना है, अच्छे क्लासेस करना है, ये प्रिपरेशन तो ऐसे ही करना है। और कब आएगी ये तो कोई नहीं बता सकता, ये तो जब वैकेंसी होने से नोटिफिकेशन आता है, एग्जाम कंडक्ट करा जाता है, इंटरव्यू होता है, एंड दिस इज द प्रोसेस। Sakshi Singh is saying that turning point, Alan's keynote, Rome's and test series is okay for preparation. See, Rome's is okay, ठीक है। रोम्स कर सकते हो, रोम्स में काफी एमसीक्यूज है, एक्सप्लेनेशन भी है, तो यू कैन गो फॉर दैट। टेस्ट सीरीज किसी अच्छे कोचिंग का ज्वाइन करना, ठीक है, जो रैंक प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं एंड क्वेश्चन के एक्सप्लेनेशंस वगैरह अच्छे से दे रहे हैं, प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं, ज्यादा से ज्यादा टेस्ट कंडक्ट कर रहे हैं, सो टेस्ट सीरीज ये करना। एलेंस की नोट तो पढ़ना ही है फॉर मेट्रियोमेटी का। टर्निंग पॉइंट इज अ गुड बुक, चलेगा, लेकिन सिर्फ टर्निंग पॉइंट नहीं चलेगा, और भी एमसीक्यूज पढ़ने पड़ेंगे फ्रॉम अदर बुक्स। सिर्फ टर्निंग पॉइंट इज नॉट इनफ, एंड आई डोंट थिंक ऑल द सब्जेक्ट्स आर आल्सो कवर्ड इन दैट बुक। तो कुछ और बुक्स लगेंगे ही उसके अलावा भी। Lucky Singh is asking, sir, please tell me what can we still get our Pulse recording classes video of 21-22 after this exam? Means what can we still get your exam? See, whatever your queries are, just email to Pulse Coaching Institute. ठीक है, concerning person जो भी होगा ना, they will reply. Sir, solving papers of WBUHS is helpful for AIPGT? Yes, definitely. जितने भी प्रीवियस ईयर्स पेपर्स के, वेस्ट बंगाल के जितने सारे एग्जाम्स के पेपर्स हैं, पीएससी है, यूपी के, वेस्ट बंगाल के, एमपी के, उड़ीसा के, ठीक है, कर्नाटका के, एटलीस्ट सॉल्व दीज पेपर्स, एंड दिल्ली के, ये सारे पेपर्स को तो पढ़ना ही है प्रीवियस ईयर्स के। चंद्रा इज सेइंग, सर सेकेंड ईयर में हूँ, अभी से कैसे प्रिपरेशन स्टार्ट करे यूपीएससी एमओ के लिए? सी, सेकेंड ईयर में अभी हो तो प्रॉब्ली कुछ ही सब्जेक्ट्स यू माइट हैव स्टडीड, सो आई वुड सजेस्ट कि जो अभी टेक्स्ट बुक्स जो अभी कॉलेज में पढ़ाया जा रहा है, यूनिवर्सिटी में पढ़ाया जा रहा है, वो टेक्स्ट बुक्स को अभी अच्छे से पढ़ो, ठीक है। एंड वट एवर टॉपिक्स यू हैव बीन टॉट और यू आर टॉट इन योर कॉलेज, टाइम मिले तो कुछ एमसीक्यूज वगैरह सॉल्व करो ऑन दोज टॉपिक्स, ठीक है। नॉट कुछ प्रेशर लेके नहीं कि सॉल्व हो रहा है नहीं हो रहा है, जस्ट एमसीक्यूज सॉल्व करो, ठीक है ना, बिकॉज टेक्स्ट बुक यू आर स्टडिंग इज प्रोस्पेक्टिव काइंड ऑफ स्टडी, तो साइमल्टेनियसली एमसीक्यूज में यू नीड टू डू रेट्रोस्पेक्टिव काइंड ऑफ स्टडी। सो अभी प्रोस्पेक्टिव स्टडी के साथ कभी कभी बीच में थोड़ा सा मूड चेंज करने के लिए एमसीक्यूज सॉल्व करो, सो रेट्रोस्पेक्टिव स्टडी भी साथ में होती रहेगी। Dr. Shika is asking, which repertory contains more questions in exam? See, Halwa and Gold topics mein na, I've already done this, your question. I've already explained, I've already talked about this question, but in general, Kent से सबसे ज़्यादा questions होते हैं। होमियो अड्डा के स्टडी मटेरियल कैसे हैं? मैंने नहीं देखा है, उसका स्टडी मटेरियल मैंने नहीं देखा, इसलिए I cannot comment on that. For revision, whether Sushma Nigotria is asking for revision whether one should go for rooms or success and analysis. See, allied के लिए rooms enough है if you are doing that, or success and alliance is enough. I don't see alliance से सिर्फ questions नहीं आते हैं, ठीक है, बोरिक से भी कुछ questions आएंगे and कुछ इधर उधर से भी questions आएंगे, तो allen and boric is enough. सक्सेस सिर्फ I wouldn't say that is enough because उसका कम MCQs है। See, एग्जाम का फुल प्रिपरेशन के लिए ना, अगर कहीं कोचिंग ज्वाइन किए हो तो उसका लेक्चर्स ये इंपॉर्टेंट है, उसके बाद उस कोचिंग का स्टडी मटेरियल अगर अच्छा है तो दैट इज इंपॉर्टेंट, दैट इज मैंने उसको पढ़ना इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। टेस्ट सीरीज बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट, उसके बाद प्रीवियस ईयर्स के पेपर्स बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट। ये 4 चीज अगर कर रहे हो, ठीक है, ये अगर 4 चीज कर रहे हो तो एग्जाम के लिए इनफ है। ठीक है, ठीक है, चलो। Okay, chalo, fine. Then I'm ending this stream. And one question that you need to, I need all of you to answer. Ke 1 week or 10 days before before the exam, I'll be doing a live session like this. And what should be the topic of that session? Should it be anything in particular, or should that be just a motivational kind of session, और जो भी whatever you feel कि 10 days पहले अगर इस चीज पे थोड़ा सा अगर, and that will not be a like this live session is already 1 hour. That session is not gonna be so long because 1 week before the exam, I also understand, and you should also be understanding how important is every minute to you. So probably that session will be about 20 minutes. उससे ज़्यादा I don't think होगा. So in that 20 minute, what should be the topic of that live session? Let me know in the comments after this live stream ends. ठीक है? चलो then. Bye. Already it's already 5:30. It's already late. I'll see you. Okay? चलो. I'll see you. Okay? चलो.